Hello, dear friends. Neurosis is a journalist's professional illness caused by the anxiety of seeking news, but it is a greater problem when it becomes a social illness. Opinion piece: Social anxiety, the age of chaos, FOMO syndrome, fear of missing out, fear of not being up to date, compulsive worry, check the networks without stopping, right to digital rest. The meek will inherit F. Let's start. Smartphones allow people to be in continuous contact with their social and professional network. This can lead to compulsive checking of status updates and messages. The fact of being continually connected to the internet through our mobile phones can cause behavioral or habit problems that end up generating syndromes such as FOMO. This phenomenon refers to the anxiety that a person feels when thinking that he is or she is missing out on a fun activity that others are having. FOMO syndrome, fear of missing out, refers to a feeling of anxiety or fear that the person experiences when believing that he or she is missing out on experiences, events, or social interactions that are happening at that moment in which they are not participating. This anxiety is often related to the use of social networks and exposure to the lives of others through platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, among others. The causes are loneliness, low self esteem, misuse of social networks, a lack of satisfaction of psychological needs, and excessive anxiety about information handled on the internet. The consequences are fear, anxiety, depression, irritability, lack of concentration, and low self esteem. According to Dr. Christian Northrup, they basically want to get you hooked on the internet. To get you hooked on the internet. People who experience FOMO syndrome may feel the constant need to stay connected, constantly checking their social media to make sure they don't miss anything. This can cause additional stress and negatively affect the person's quality of life. The counter FOMO syndrome To counter FOMO syndrome, some people choose to practice occasional digital disconnection, limiting the time they spend on social media and focusing on enjoying the present moment. FOMO disorder affects the younger population. Addiction to social networks and the internet in general has become one of the main problems of today's young population. To prevent the fear of missing out from taking control, it is important to reduce the use of social media and be able to disconnect from it. Disconnection. The right to digital disconnection is a concept that refers to the right of workers not to be permanently connected or available for work outside of their regular working hours. It arises as a response to the growing prevalence of technology and digital communication, which has led to greater interconnection between personal and professional lives. This right recognizes the importance of establishing boundaries between work and personal life to maintain a balance between the two and protect the mental health of workers. The idea is to prevent people from being constantly exposed to emails, messages, or work tasks during their rest and free time periods. Breaking news: Europe is a time bomb waiting to explode. A wave of agricultural strikes sweeps Europe. Farmers block roads, throw garbage in front of government buildings, and carry out tractor marches to express their disagreement with the community's agricultural policy. Texas enters into conflict with Washington over the immigration crisis, supported by 25 other states. Houthis report attacks on military vessels while protecting two commercial ships. X-22 report. Banks are preparing for something big. The economy is crashed. Davos does what it can to try to show that we use too many resources. Layoffs are accelerating and there is talk of bank runs. China's economy grows 5.2% in 2023, and the IMF wants to give it economics lessons. Apple pays Russia a fine of $13.6 million for monopolistic behavior. Americas. Argentina doubles the amount of food cut for vulnerable families. The Argentine opposition criticizes Milei for his rejection of the BRICS. BRICS countries are interested in cooperating in space exploration. The government of Chile creates a prosecutor's office specialized in organized crime. Cuban sugar awaits sweeter times, surrounded by the blockade. Opinion. Benjamin Fulford says a black swan financial event is scheduled for March. Reverse repo bank bailout ends in March. This means that the big banks cannot survive in their current form after March. The US government also approved a new spending bill that ends in March. It only funds essential government services until then. No money for Ukraine or Israel is on the bill. Fulford says that Asian and white hat Western allies have been gathering and destroying dollars in the world. They are replacing them with asset-backed currency. He adds that the children's shopping fair for men who do not have babies will be held in Berlin in April. Here, single men will be able to buy babies without any verification of the buyers, say German intelligence sources. Intelligence sources say this is the restart of a plan aimed at destroying nationalism by uniting German women with non-German men. Now they are trying to do this to all Europeans. The Groundwork collaborative think tank found that corporate profits accounted for about 53% of inflation. As Australian Senator Malcolm Roberts says, the Great Reset is nothing more than a lifelong subscription to slavery, where multi-million-dollar corporations own everything and ordinary citizens what they need if their social credit allows. Viktor Orban says that Hungary cannot be blackmailed. There is not enough money in the world to force them to accept mass migration and put their children in the hands of activists. The state of Texas is also stopping the mass importation of military-age male migrants and accompanied mirrors. One crisis is that European farmers remain up in arms and refuse to let the Davos Forum force them out of business to engineer their planned food crisis. Last week, thousands of farmers dumped more than 100 trailers of manure and waste against the government. Following the example of France and Germany, farmers in Belgium are also starting to turn in road signs, condemning the government's agricultural policies and the crisis in the industry. The movement has already spread throughout the Flemish region. Once the weak surrender their last strongholds, world peace and the golden age can begin. There is still turbulence ahead, but there is no way in or out of it that will succeed in their plans to turn the planet into a giant animal farm controlled by them. The sheep are being released. The meek will inherit the earth. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.